If you have money sitting in a savings account right now, this video is for you. If you worked hard, sacrificed, skipped vacation, said no to impulse spending, and slowly built an emergency fund, what I'm about to show you may change how you see your money forever. Because right now, millions of smart Americans are doing the responsible thing, while quietly losing money every single year. And nobody tells them. Not your bank, not financial gurus, not influencers showing off investment portfolios. Nobody warns you about the silent leak happening in plain sight. And by the end of this video, you'll never see your savings account the same way again. But here's the thing. This isn't about fear. This isn't about panic. This is about awareness. Because once you see what I'm about to show you, you can't unsee it. And that awareness, that's where real wealth begins. You were told to do the right thing. Build savings. Keep cash safe. Be prepared. Use a high-yield savings account. Earn interest. Sounds smart. Sounds mature. Sounds financially responsible. And to be clear, saving money is smart. Building an emergency fund is smart. Wanting safety is smart. But where you place that money matters more than most people realize. And that's the part almost nobody explains. Think about it. You spend years learning how to earn money, how to budget, how to cut expenses, how to resist temptation, how to say no when everyone else says yes. But how much time did you spend learning where to put that money once you saved it? Most people? Zero. They open whatever account their parents used, or whatever commercial they saw during a football game, or whatever popped up first on Google, or whatever their bank teller recommended in 30 seconds. And then they never revisit that decision. Not in 1 year. Not in 5 years. Not in 10 years. That's where the problem starts. Because financial products change. Interest rates change. Your life changes. Your goals change. But your savings account? It stays the same. And staying the same in a changing world is the same as falling behind. If you currently have $5,000 saved $10, 000 saved $20, 000 saved $50, 000 or more saved. This applies to you because the bigger your cash pile becomes, the more expensive bad parking becomes. Let me say that again because this is critical. Bad parking gets more expensive as your savings grow. When you had $1,000 saved, inefficiency cost you maybe $30 a year. Annoying, but not life-changing. You could ignore it. But when you have $30,000 saved, now inefficiency might cost you $800, $1, $200, even $2,000 a year. Every single year. And most people never calculate that. They just see their balance grow and assume they're winning. But growth isn't the same as optimization. You can be moving forward and still be losing ground. It's like running on a treadmill. You're sweating. You're working. You feel productive. But you're not actually going anywhere. Most people obsess over where to invest money. Should I buy stocks? Crypto? Real estate? Index funds? But very few ask the smarter question. Where's my idle money sitting and who benefits most from it? That question changes everything. Here's the trap. When something feels safe, people stop questioning it. That's human nature. That's behavioral psychology. You see money in your account. You see a stable balance. You see a little monthly interest deposit. Your brain says, good, I'm being responsible. And once your brain labels something as responsible, it stops auditing it. That is where millions lose quietly. Not through gambling, not through reckless spending, not through scams or bad investments, through unquestioned habits. Let me give you a real example. Meet Sarah. Sarah is 34 years old. She works in marketing, makes about $65,000 a year. She has $18,000 in a high-yield savings account. She's proud of it. She should be proud. It took her 4 years of discipline to build that. Skipping brunches, driving an older car, saying no to trips her friends took, meal prepping on Sundays, living below her means. She earned that money. Her account earns 4.2% APY. Sounds great, right? Way better than the 0.01% her old bank offered. So she feels ahead. She feels smart. She feels like she's winning. But here's what Sarah doesn't see. After taxes, that 4.2% becomes closer to 3.1%. Inflation is running around 3.5% to 4%. So her real return is actually negative. She's earning interest, but losing purchasing power. Her account balance says $18,000, but what that $18,000 can actually buy, that's shrinking, month by month, year by year. She's working hard to tread water, and she has no idea, because her bank statement doesn't show. Hey Sarah, you lost $150 in purchasing power this year. It just shows. You earned $756 in interest. Great job. And Sarah celebrates, while quietly falling behind. Let's talk honestly about what happens behind the scenes. When your money goes into a bank, it doesn't just sit there in a vault doing nothing. Your deposit becomes fuel. Banks use your deposits to support lending at higher rates, treasury holdings, investment spreads, fee-generating products, liquidity for high-margin activities, credit card programs, mortgage origination, business loans. Your savings account may feel like storage, like a safe, like a mattress, but digital. To them, it's inventory, it's raw material, it's leverage. That difference matters, because while you're focused on earning interest, they're focused on maximizing yield from capital pools. And your money is part of that pool. Here's how it actually works. You deposit $20,000. They pay you 4%. That's $800 a year. Sounds generous, right? But behind the scenes, they might lend that money out at 7% for a car loan, charge 9%, for a personal loan, charge 18% to 24% on credit cards, use it to back treasury trades, yielding more leverage, it across multiple financial products. They're making multiples of what they're paying you. In some cases, 3x, 5x, even 10x on certain products. And that's not evil. That's not a scam. That's just business. But you should know the game you're playing. Because if you don't understand the structure, you can't optimize your position in it. You're a player on the board, but you don't know the rules. And people who don't know the rules, they rarely win. Let's say you have $20,000 in a high-yield savings account. You feel ahead of the average person. And maybe you are. Maybe your account earns around 4% to 4.5%. That sounds great compared to old-school savings accounts. But pause for a second. Ask yourself honestly, did you choose that account because it was truly optimal? Or because it sounded better than the bad options you knew about? Those are not the same thing. Many people upgrade from terrible to decent, then stop searching. And that's where progress slows. They go from 0.01% to 4%. And they celebrate. And celebration is good. Progress is real. But celebration shouldn't become complacency. Because while you're comparing yourself to your past self, someone else is comparing all available options right now. And that person is getting 5% in certain money market accounts, 5.3% in treasury-backed funds, 5.4% in brokerage sweep accounts, blended systems, yielding even more. Not because they're smarter, not because they're richer, not because they have inside information, because they kept searching after good enough. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Good enough is the enemy of optimal. And in finance, the gap between good enough and optimal costs you thousands over time. You don't feel it today. You don't see it this month. But 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the gap becomes a canyon. Your banking app shows you one number. Interest earned. Big. Bold. Green. Makes you feel good. What it does not show you: taxes that will be removed later, inflation reducing your purchasing power, better alternatives you never considered, opportunity cost of idle money, rate changes that can happen anytime, fees buried in fine print, minimum balance requirements, withdrawal limitations, early access penalties, how much they profited from your deposit. So you celebrate visible gains while invisible losses continue. That's how modern money psychology works. People trust what they can see. They ignore what they can't. And banks know this. Financial institutions have teams of behavioral psychologists. They design apps. They design statements. They design experiences that make you feel good without asking hard questions. That's why dashboards highlight interest earned, but never show you, here's how much purchasing power you lost this year. Here's how much more you could have earned in a treasury fund. Here's how much profit we made from your $25,000 deposit. Those numbers stay hidden, not because they're secret, not because it's illegal to show them, but because you're not asking for them. And as long as you don't ask, nothing changes. Let's do some real math, because numbers don't lie. Let's say inefficiency costs you only $400 a year. Doesn't sound like much, right? You might spend that on coffee, or takeout, or a weekend trip. Now multiply that across. 5 years equals $2,000 lost. 10 years equals $4,000 lost. 20 years equals $8,000 lost. But wait, that's just the direct loss. Now add what those dollars could have become if placed smarter, if reinvested, if compounded. The real cost doubles. Let me show you a side-by-side. Scenario A. $25,000 in a savings account at 4% over 10 years equals $37,000. Scenario B. That same $25,000 in a blended system. Part in treasury funds, part in money market accounts, part in high-yield brokerage cash. Average yield, 5.2%. After 10 years equals $42,000. That's $5,000 left on the table for doing nothing except parking differently. Same risk level, same liquidity, same safety, different result. Now imagine you're 30 years old. You keep this pattern until you're 50. That's $10,000 to $15,000 in pure opportunity cost. From cash you already saved. You didn't need to take more risk. You didn't need to invest in stocks. You didn't need to gamble on crypto. You didn't need to become a day trader. You just needed to park smarter. And here's the tragedy. Most people will never know. They'll reach 50, 60, 70, and never realize they left 5 figures on the table, just from how they stored cash. So what's the solution? Smarter people separate money by purpose. Not all cash gets treated the same. Here's the framework. Bucket 1, immediate money. This is bills, rent, groceries, gas, everyday spending, needs, speed, and convenience. Best place, checking account. No question. Bucket 2, emergency money. This is your 3 to 6 month safety net. The money that helps you sleep at night. Needs, safety plus intelligent yield plus fast access. This is where most people mess up. They treat this like bucket 1, but it's not. This money sits for months or years. It should be working harder. Bucket 3, near-term opportunity money. Money waiting for a house down payment, a car purchase, taxes, a business idea, and investment opportunity. Needs, productivity plus liquidity. Best place, money markets, treasury funds, brokerage cash accounts. Bucket 4, long-term wealth money. This is money you won't touch for 5, 10, 20 plus years. Needs, growth assets. Best place, index funds, IRAs, brokerage accounts, real estate. See the difference? Average people use one account for everything. Intentional people assign jobs. When you assign jobs, you unlock clarity. You stop wondering, is this right? You start knowing this is optimized for its purpose. And that confidence? That's priceless. So if you have money sitting in a savings account right now, don't just ask, how much interest am I getting? Ask the better question. Is this the best home for money I worked this hard to earn? Because your emergency fund should protect you, not underperform for you. Your cash should never be parked by default. It should be placed with purpose. You already did the hard part. You earned it. You saved it. You sacrificed for it. Now give it the system it deserves. If this changed how you think about money, hit subscribe. Because the biggest wealth upgrades don't come from earning more. They come from one thing: seeing old habits with new eyes.